Well, it's a pleasure to be joined, as always, by our MASN Orioles insider, Steve Melewski. Steve, thank you for trudging through the snow to get here at Camden Yards.
You don't have to shovel rain or warmth, but sometimes you do have to shovel snow.
Yeah. Well, we are looking forward to some warm weather and baseball down the line, but it's been a really exciting start to 2024 for the Orioles internationally. Not only do you have the J15 guys that we'll get to in a second here, but you also have the opening of their brand new academy in the Dominican Republic. Mike Elias has said it is one of the crowning achievements of the organization over the last few years. Just how significant is that opening?
I mean, really big for the Orioles. They just keep doing some exciting things that are great for the team and the fans. And it was exciting when they hired Mike Elias that they got back involved with international because these players take up 30% of a major league clubhouse. And if you want to win the American League East, you're going to have to do some good things internationally. So the Orioles, under Kobe Perez and Elias, their scouts in the Dominican, Venezuela, around the world, have gotten a lot of respect the last few years for signing more players, signing players to bigger dollar amounts. I think it's now 5 players have signed for $1 million or more over the since 2021. That's when it started. So that's amazing. And now to have the academy to go with it brings it all together for the Orioles and the Dominican. And it's just going to be special for the players and the organization going forward.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the players that the Orioles have brought in this cycle. You mentioned guys that have come in for over a $1 million signing bonus. They had another one in this class with shortstop Emilio Sanchez.
Yes, exciting to get him, 16 years old. What I like about Sanchez and Steven Martinez, both signed $1 million, a little over for Emilio, a little under for Martinez, is both of these guys, according to some scouting reports, have well-rounded tools. They get like 50 grades or above for all their tools, so they can impact the game with more than just their bat or more than just their glove or more than just their speed. And so for Sanchez, the hit tool is ahead of the power. Martinez, the power is way ahead of the hit tool. It's big raw power. They say this kid really can drive the ball. And again, just 16 years old. So what's exciting, Brendan, is when you get these kids at 16, some can make the majors at 19. I mean, the best. We saw Juan Soto do that with the Nationals. And so that's pretty amazing if you get a kid that can do that. A few can. But the ones that progress the fastest can start impacting the higher levels of the minors or even threaten the majors while they're still a teenager.
Yeah, hard to say what exactly these guys are going to turn into when you're signing them at 16 years old, but certainly some tools that excite you there. Outside of the top 2 guys, was there anybody else in this class that jumped out to you?
Well, the Orioles really like a couple players they signed for $500,000 bonuses. Both are shortstops, Alvin Garcia and Jamon Noel. Was from Jamaica and now in the Dominican. And Baseball America ranked them in their top 80 in terms of signing bonuses. So you get $500K or more. That's significant dollars on the international market. So the Orioles are high on those kids. They signed a class of 19. The one thing that's about the international, because you sign them so young and you're projecting so far in advance, kids who sign for lower bonuses sometimes hit it big. Ronald Acuna, unanimous MVP in the National League, 40-70 guy. No one's ever done that. He signed for $100,000. Jonathan Scope, I remember, signed for about that. The Orioles once signed Eduardo Rodriguez for $175K. I believe Felix Bautista, when he was signed originally by Miami, very low signing bonus. So your mileage may vary at the international market. You can get kids who they just come later. You can't project what they'll look like at 20 when you give them a certain dollar amount at 16.
Right, and outside of Luis Almeida, who the Orioles brought in last year for over $2 million, you haven't seen the huge dollar amounts be given out to anybody because the Orioles are trying to round out this international program here.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you can't get top prospects out of it, and we just saw one ranked in the top 10 according to Baseball America and Samuel Basallo.
He's the shining star right now in the Oriole International program. And I mean, this kid, I met him late last year in Aberdeen, and he has a dynamic, fun personality. You can see how much he loves the game. They tell me on the Oriole farm how driven this kid is to be good. This time last year, he was number 15 on the Orioles' top 30. Now he's number 10 nationally. And by the way, Jackson Holliday this time last year was number 15 nationally. That tells you where Basallo is. Jackson was 15, Basallo's 10, and he might elevate close to #1 or even maybe get there, which would give the Orioles 4 straight, which would be beyond ridiculous. But Basallo is playing to rave reviews on the Oriole farm. 70 arm, scouts give him 70 power. I mean, you got to love that combo.
Yeah.
Defensively, yes, it's not a finished product. We'll see if he can stay a catcher. If he can, man, that's a real weapon to have from the left side.
Yeah, and for the Orioles, Basallo being ranked in the top 10 is significant both for the Major League team and just the fact that if you are trying to sign guys internationally, not only do you have a brand new academy that you can show them, but you now have a prospect in the top 10 of all in baseball that you can point to and say, hey, look what you could potentially grow into in our system here.
And there are more coming. I'm not going to say the level of Basallo because not every day you get the #10 player in the country, but when Baseball America ranked the top 20 prospects in the Florida Complex League at the end of last season, there were 4 Orioles in the top 20. They were all international. When the Dominican Winter League had a draft last September, the Orioles tied a couple other teams for the most players drafted with 7. So there are names that aren't being bandied about yet that will in the next year that are going to emerge beyond Basallo. And they have like 6 or 7 international guys now on these top 30 lists. So the Orioles international program, it's coming, and it's coming fast.
Yeah, a lot of reasons to be excited internationally for the Orioles here. We know our MASN Orioles insider, Steve Melewski, is going to keep us updated throughout the entire process. Steve, thank you so much for the insight. We appreciate it.
You got it, Brendan.